Okay, before I start, there's three things I absolutely have to. You have to listen to these three things before we go forward. Number one, I know I make these jokes all the time. I turn a clickbait thing into a State of the Union, let you know what's going on the channel. This is definitely not let you know what's going on the channel, but there is no gotcha at this one. I can understand. I cried wolf a lot, and it's funny, and I'll probably do it again one day, but this ain't it. I promise you. I know I think I just did it the other day. And the funny thing about the joke I made, it actually kind of came true. So there's some irony in that. Number two, hold your checkbooks. I'm not saying cut me off, but if you were going to dig deeper for something, it's not going to help. I need nothing short of an act of God to get this fixed. This is, if you wired me $1 billion right now, it would not change a thing. So if you think you got to dig deep at Christmas time for me to keep SFTP going, it's not going to make a difference. It's beyond my control. It's beyond everyone's control. So look, send what you were going to get and support how you were ever going to support. This is not a video to start a sort of half-ass GoFundMe, which wouldn't help me either, or tell you to dig deep to keep the thing going because it's so important to you and me and all that other crap. That's garbage. I'm not going to give you the whole "we are family" cult-like speech that YouTubers like to give when they're in trouble. If this is it, I will gracefully go out and thank you for a great more than a decade. So just leave it at that. Number three, since I found out this bad information, there's hope. It doesn't solve the problem, but there's hope, but it needs to be studied more. All right, here's the deal. The house that I just moved into, as you know, was built around 1975. The guy that was a little younger than me when he built it, so he probably had a family like mine. He built some really crazy 70s stuff in his basement, and he just passed away 2 years ago, and they sold the house since. That was my first hint. If you think I get Mama Max and nobody believes me on the internet when I call things out or see things kind of ahead of time, you should see my actual real life, because the same stuff happens, and it's been happening since I was a teenager. So I mentioned to Mike, is there a possibility that he didn't upgrade to DSL? Could that be a problem for us? Of course, I was scoffed at by everybody, and I even talked to the guy who sold his house because the entire neighborhood's rigged up. I'm sure he had DSL. Don't worry about it. And I said, well, how can you be sure? And then I found out, well, you have to call the telecom, and you can't call the telecom until you buy the house. So problem number one, there was another thing on the roof. I noticed a satellite. Now, when I first moved here in 2005, most Germans get their, even in major cities, their TV from satellite. His looked new, like it hadn't been replaced more than 10 years ago, which concerned me because if he had DSL, why would he need a new satellite? Number three, there's construction next door that went on almost as we were buying the house. Guess what? They cut a phone line, the one to my house. That DSL comes to the phone. And DSL was already going to be a downgrade because I'm on fiber, and boy, fiber is great, especially with upload times. It saves serious time, right? So this is an infrastructure thing. This is what telling you before. Like, your checkbooks ain't going $1 billion isn't going to help. It's not going to help. It's not going to get fixed tomorrow. From what I've been told, by the DSL guy, we may need actual construction, and you don't know when they're going to get to it. The good news is I was told, because we're a part of the telecom and not some offshoot or third party, they do tend to work faster. And then if somebody like me has a problem there with like Vodafone or something like that, they drag their feet. So you go to telecom. So that's not going to be too much of an issue. The other problem I heard, I just spent $3,000 on, well, me and my wife split it. So I spent $1,500 on wiring the whole house for Ethernet. Well, that doesn't seem like it's going to do much good now. It's not going to matter. Like I said, we can't even get a telephone. You usually have a couple of different phone lines coming to your house. Mine are either too old or cut. So it ain't happening. Now it's not even good enough for a telephone at this stage. This is a serious problem for somebody who makes their living streaming. So I'm not sure what I can do. I'm extremely dependent on live stream donations to get this thing going. If I can't do this, I mean, I would try to do offline episodes, which, yeah, but that would kill some of the stuff that I'm most dependent on. And I also feel, I mean, that would justify you guys that are members that pay a monthly installment. Yeah, that would totally justify that, but it's not going to be the same thing and not going to be the same quality or just the open stream, call in, all that stuff will be lost because I have to record it and then upload it. Assuming I could actually, and I don't know, like right now we have a temporary hotspot. I don't know how long an upload of a full hour and a half hour even 45-minute podcast will take. And I don't know. And somebody said, why don't you stream on somebody told me, why don't you stream on the hotspot? I am not sure that's possible. If it is, certainly we'll do it. But I don't think the bandwidth is there for us to do what we need to do and get the quality at 1080p or even 730 for that matter. I'll look into that if it's a possibility. If I could stream for a short period of time on a hotspot and that gets it done, well, then we don't have a problem, and then eventually we get wired. That leads to my other thing. I've been told this will take anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months to a year. And the guy wouldn't sell on it. He said he goes, it could get done in 3 weeks, but look, Germany's not like the States. It's not like they're going to, and even in the States, I think this would be an issue. They have to get a unionized team to dig a hole, run a wire, all that other stuff. Here's another problem. I'm told that I'll more than likely have to pay at least another $1,000 to, and I'm not exactly sure what this is, to build something on my end to connect the actual DSL to the house. So no phone, no DSL, no nothing. That's how old this is, and all the other phone lines have been cut by the construction going on next door. This is a huge problem as far as now. I will struggle and fight and try to stay in the game, but I don't see being down for 3 months as viable. When I go for a week, it takes me a month to really get back the fan audience that I had before. Now, if this is it, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm going to thank all of you for the decade, and I will eventually, and I'll probably continue to upload or something like that. But I will let the members know that, this is the content we're producing. If you still want to support it, that's great, but it's not going to be what it was. I don't know if that's the case because I did get some hope. I could be overreacting, and I didn't know this. I thought this is something you only get in Ukraine. Elon Musk to the rescue. That's right. Starlink. He saved free speech, and he might save my YouTube career. From what I understand, I can get Starlink, and I don't even have to sign up for a whole year. But it's not cheap. It's going to be cost anywhere from $1,000 to $500, and then $50 a month after that. But I can cancel anytime. And from what I understand, I could put it on my deck, and that would be enough to stream with. If that's the case, that's fine. I don't think high-speed gaming, DSL, or even fiber-like gaming are really are in my future with Starlink. Or I don't really know how. I don't know anything about Starlink yet. I just know that it's available in Wiesbaden, which is really good news. And for the rest of the week, my wife's going to be nagging the phone company, the DSL company, and I will be finding everything I need to know about Starlink before I make a purchase. Probably have to move on that pretty fast. Now, we will be streaming, and I will be coming to work tomorrow because now I get up and I go to work right here, and there will be a stream tomorrow. I promise. And I'm probably going to try to work and squeeze as much out of this as I can because I will be here till about, unless for some reason they turn it off early, to the end of January. So we're good for a month, and there's stuff to work with. And if we get Starlink if it turns out that it takes like a bunch of months to do, maybe Starlink can hold us over until we get a direct connection because I'm a wired type of guy, right? So yeah, this is really bad. I don't really get depressed, but when this guy told me, I could tell by the look in his face that I was in big trouble. Now he did say he is absolutely confident this will get done, and he wouldn't put his name or sign his life to it that it would definitely get done in 3 months. And not impossible earlier than that. But, you can't count on that when you're doing 3, 4, 5 podcast uploads a week and it needs to come out. So I'm going to do the best I can for the rest of the month and try to give you guys what you want, if not more. Obviously, the Christmas holidays coming up next year. You're probably not going to see too much of me. But after Christmas, it's get up and go to work. And I've been doing that. And I got to be honest with you, I don't like it. I like my family being there. It sucked. The first day I had to come here at 8. I didn't leave here till after midnight. It sucks. It's probably not even that good for your marriage. But look, my wife is actually kind of bummed out by the whole thing too. The extra money that this brings in gives us a very nice lifestyle, and I don't think she wants to handle everything on her own. And there's not a lot of opportunities. There is opportunities, but there's not a lot of super life-changing opportunities for me on the German economy. So it definitely would be a change in lifestyle if this doesn't work out. Because if you didn't know, I'm not a college graduate or the smartest guy in the world. I don't know if I could just go in the German. I'm not going to become, making a couple $100,000 a year. It's not happening with the regular job. This has been more than suffice, and probably more she expected out of me when she married my stupid ass. So that's the emergency. There is hope. I want your continued support. I really do. And don't dig into your checkbooks even more than you already have. Support what's coming out. Hey, listen, man, you hear this all the time, and it doesn't feel like anything, because I hate this stuff too. The comments, the likes, the engagement is what pushes this stuff. I know you guys are more so than me, because I've accepted my situation. I don't have a problem. I have a niche audience that's super loyal. But I hear the frustrating is like, why don't you go? Why don't you go? Why don't you grow? Well, I mean, that could be me. That could be I'm not playing the game right. Could be my age. Younger people tend to comment more, and I kind of have an older audience due to my age and the fact the type of talk show that I do is a little more Gen X, so old school. But yeah, if you want to change that, and you're in your 30s and you love the show, engaging and talking and liking and stuff like that raises the bar a whole bunch. So look, I appreciate you. I'm gonna fight. But if I have to bow out as far as doing this every day, I'm never going to leave. I'm an internet person. I'm not leaving permanently. But there's only so much I could. There's only if my salary gets cut in half by March, I got a problem, and it's probably time to get another job. So if we can keep it going just a little longer, that would be great. I can't even say it's up to you, because it's really up to when they dig a hole and run a wire to my house and all this other stuff gets straightened out. And remember, this is holiday season, and Germans, there's no such thing as overtime. It doesn't exist here in Europe. They don't work like Americans do. But we'll do our best. Maybe Elon can bail us out, and I appreciate you. I feel a lot better. The reason I didn't put a thing out yesterday, even tweet about it, is I was just too bummed out. But I got a day to sleep on it, and then I called. Shout out to Crown T. He's like, why don't you just go Starlink? I was like, I thought that was for like Ukrainian soldiers. He's like, no, it's not. But if I can stream on that, I don't know the weather, or if there's solar flares would give us problems, but we'll try to keep it going. I want to do live streams. I'm a streamer on YouTube, and I want to keep it going, and as best I can. And if not, well, I'll still be around in some capacity. And then we'll just move on. But look, see you soon. Not over. Something tells me we're going to pull it out, but the truth is, I am more. This is not me whining about having a couple PDF file stuff, and I'm sick of it. This is spooky. But I don't know. Every other time I thought something was spooky, it kind of worked out in the end. So we'll see. Take care.